friends, once again I came for the class for the 9th, and today we are going to deal with the geographical section, and the first lesson we already completed, and now we are dealing with the second lesson. So I hope that you all are keeping fine. I am also fine by the grace of our God. And today, once again, welcome to the online class of Kerala Public School, Arvia, Bihar. So I hope that maybe the first lesson and the second lesson, first part, you already learned, and now we have to go for the next other topic. That's the Northern Plain. So studies lesson 2, part 2. Part 1 we finished, and I think that maybe we are going to complete the lesson. It is a little vast lesson, so with 1 or 2 class we are unable to complete. Therefore, 4 or 5 episodes may come. So with that episode only, we will get the complete information about this lesson. So lesson 2, the physical features of India, and the topic, first topic we already discussed, that's the Himalayan mountains. About that we got information. Now we have to today we have to deal with the Northern Plain. The Northern Plain we are getting information. Once again I request you to please listen carefully, and you have to cast your complete attention towards me. Then you will get the clear picture about this lesson. Okay, then thank you. And let's turn your attention towards the page number 11, and that's from the top. We can see that the topic which is mentioned that in the Northern Plain. So open your textbook for the page number 11 and listen carefully. And while you are listening me, then you can keep with your lecture notebook, and also you can keep one pen and the textbook also you open. Then while you are listening, when I'm teaching, you can go through the book also. You are able to write the lecture note also. It will help you to memorize all the points without having any problems. Okay, let's start. So the Himalayan mountains we completed. Now you have to deal with the Northern Plain. So this is the early features of India. Okay, you know that the picture is also given here on your textbook. You know, and India's picture, and we learned the Himalayas. You know, just like an arch shape, we already understand, and I have explained about all those things. Now we have to learn something about the Northern Plain. So here we are getting information like that. This Northern Plain is broadly divided into 3 sections. Northern Plains are divided into 3 different sections. And the first section we can understand that the western part of the Northern Plain. Okay, you know that here is North India, this is Himalaya, and here the western part of Northern Plain. These are the areas. Okay, so the western part of the Northern Plain, and that's the first part. Here we can understand that it is referred as to a Punjab Plain, maybe another name given by, that's the Punjab Plain, and also formed by the Indus and its tributaries. And these are the areas we are able to see the river, that's Indus. You know that this area, especially the western, northern India, the western part, and Indus river, you are able to see these are the areas. See, maybe there was a time even Pakistan also belongs to India. Before the independence of the Pakistan, it was India and Pakistan that's one, and because of that, even the Indus River and flowing through the India only that time, now divided into Pakistan, that became separate, and we are able to see the Indus River. These are the areas in northern India and western part of the Northern Plain. So here we can understand that this area mainly we are seeing the main Indus River, and there are so many tributary, small rivers are there joined with the Indus River. Mainly these are the areas, and larger part of this plain is now lying in Pakistan. That only I said that, you know that main, this is the Northern Plain, mainly we can see that Indus River. Indus River and its tributaries. Okay, mainly Indus River we can see, and also there are another small rivers join to the Indus. That's called tributary rivers are the tributaries. Maybe so many rivers are there. They used to bring the silt and pebbles, so many fertile things from the mountainous areas, and coming and join with the Indus, and Indus became very good river. So these Indus rivers mainly making the land completely fertile, and with the so many tributary rivers also there. This all together and making a drainage from those northern area, and almost all the regions, places became fertile because of this river. Now we are getting more information. However, Indus, its tributaries, just like you are called Jhelum, Shenam. There are so many rivers are there. Jhelum, and we can see Jhelum, Shenam, and Ravi. These Jhelum, Shenam, Ravi, these all rivers are the tributaries of Indus, and these are helping. These are the tributary rivers helping to become more fertile, especially the northern area, northern plain. So you know that especially the rivers, others the plain areas, how they became the fertile, because the last year, others the 8th standard, you learn about how the maybe almost all the plains became the fertile. Why? Because of that, the rivers bringing the silt, pebbles, and everything, and fertile things, and brought through the river only, and automatically that sediment only laid down on the ground and became the plain area that completely became fertile. So that's clearly. So Indus through the tributary rivers of Jhelum, Shenab, and the Ravi, and so many other small rivers are there. This all together making Indus River as fertile, and automatically this northern plain became fertile because of these rivers. Now this section is dominated by the Doaba, and we can understand that these are the area on western side, northern side of the western part of the India, and mainly that's the meaning of Doaba. Doaba means a simple thing. This section mainly is called Doaba, and meaning also almost the same. That Do means that's the two, and Av means river. Okay. Otherwise, you can say that water. Okay. And these are the areas called Doa. Doa means like that. Do means two. You understand that? Av means river. Otherwise, water. Okay. So maybe the two water sources, and the main thing, and so many tributaries are there. That purposely called. And you know that another thing you understand called the Punjab. One of the examples is called the Punjab. And you know that Panch means what? Panch means 5. And Up means water. Okay? So all together, Punjab, as have these two different words mixed together and form the name of the Punjab. Panch means 5, Up means water, that means 5 water sources. Okay? There are mainly 5 water sources are there, and these are the waters making the maybe the fertile for those areas. So that understanding we are getting from this part. Now we have to go for the main Ganga plain. It is extend between Gagar and Teesta rivers, and mainly when we are understanding about the Ganga, this northern plain, and we can understand that mainly 2 rivers are, we can see the Gagar and the Teesta river. It is spread over the states of Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, and maybe the partially Jharkhand. So maybe through this rivers are flowing through different states, especially that mentioned Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, and there are some parts of the Jharkhand and flowing through these are the areas. And we can understand that next, that's the second part. First one we understood that the western part of the northern plain, because I have already informed that the northern plains are divided into three sections. First one is called the western part of the northern plain. Okay, first one is called the western part of the northern plain, and second one the Ganga plain. Okay, this Ganga plain only I mentioned. These are the Doab systems and river systems are there, and you know that, and there are main rivers that are making these are the areas completely fertile. So the thirdly we can understand northern plains. Northern plain. Okay, now here we are getting information. It is generally described as a flat and land with no variation. But it is the belief. You know that the people that believed that maybe this is the area completely the flat land. Actually, that's not at all correct. When we are learning about the topography of India, okay, we will get the information that not according to the belief of those people, they early believed that the northern plains are just like a plain area. But all the relief features we are able to see, even these areas also, northern plain also, it is not a flat land. And maybe all the topography of the northern plain, when we are learning about that, there are also rivers are there, hills are there, okay, there are some plain terrains are there, and just like the plateau type, maybe hills we are able to see, these are the area. Everything is there, but early they believed that northern plain is simply a plain area, but that is wrong. So here we are getting these variations are there, and northern plain can be divided into 4 different regions. You know that? I already informed you that early people believed that that's a plain only, but when we learn about the topography, we understand that that's wrong. And you know that this plain and northern plain can be divided into 4 regions. So one by one I will explain from this part, from the second part northern plain, and you listen carefully. The northern plain can be divided into 4 categories. Okay, this northern plain can be divided into 4 different categories, and we are going to learn one by one right now. First one is called the Bawar. When you are reading this textbook, you will get the information about the Bawar. Okay, first one is called the Bawar. Okay, listen, the Bawar. The northern plain can be divided into 4 categories. First one is called the Bawar, because people believed that that's a plain area only. But what are things we are learning? We are getting from these are the areas. We are able to see from these are the areas. And listen, the first one we can see the Bawar. And what even by Bawar? So I'll explain. You listen carefully. The river, after descending from the mountains, it deposits pebbles, sand or stones, or it's a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometer, but lying parallel towards the slope of Shiveri. And it is mainly called the Bawar. Okay, I will explain. You know that the rivers are flowing from the highest, maybe high mountain peak, from the maybe the bottom of the mountains, and flowing, maybe the rivers flowing from the, for example, it's a mountain. For example, it's a mountain. River, maybe rain maybe happen. These are the top of the mountain. Automatically, water attempt to flow towards the bottom the part of the mountains. And when the rain happened, automatically water flowed from the height of the mountain towards the bottom of the mountains. We can understand maybe from the sediment, the pebbles, and always or the fertile things there are taken and carried by the water and when flowing towards the bottom. Okay, so you know that this mainly we can understand just like an arrow wells nearby 8 to 16 kilometer width. Okay, 8 to 16 kilometer width we can see. Okay, so width we can see the Bawar may be 8 to 16 kilometers. And that much widths are there. Maybe from the top of the mountain towards the bottom of the mountain, water are flowing and they are carried by the sediments and the bubbles and the fertile thing from the top of the mountains. And this coming towards the slope of the Shivaliks. And when we learned about the Himalayan, then we understand that the Himalayas divided into 3 different forms. And the Greater Himalayas, second of the Lesser Himalayas, and finally the last southern part we can see the Shivaliks. So these are the Shivaliks, they are coming 8 to 16 kilometers. Maybe the widths, maybe the rivers are flowing from the mountain from towards the bottom of the maybe the mountains, and they are carried by solvent sediment, the fertile things, and the bubbles are there. And this coming when they reach to Shivaliks, as a Shivaliks of the slope, this type of things are called the Bawar. You know that the rivers, there is the water flowing from the highest mountain, maybe 8 to 16 kilometers towards the Shivaliks and coming, and they are taking, they are carried by so many sediments and fertile, all the things from the top of the mountain, and they are bringing towards the southern part to the Shivaliks. It is called Bawar. That when you read, you will get the clear information about the Bawar. And here we can understand that while the rivers are carried by the sediments, others the pebbles and fertile, automatically where the rivers are depositing the things, and automatically that area became completely fertile. And almost the northern plain completely became the fertile because of the river only. Okay, and the drainage system we understand that in mainly maybe the Ganga is there, Brahmaputra is there, Yamuna is there, and so many mainly rivers are in India as a drainage system and flowing towards the ocean. So with the help of this drainage and from this rivers, we are getting the water people are using for the agriculture. And you know that because of the mountains, from the mountains only, they are bringing the sediment and all the fertile things, and that depositing the area of the plain area, that purpose only these are the plain areas also became fertile. You know that any one single place, if you are doing the agriculture every year, after 2 or 3 or 4 years, you know that the fertility is completely over. Then you have to use the extra fertility because while we are doing the agriculture, maybe for the paddy or wheat or any or vegetable, whatever it may be, and you are going for and taking the fertilizer from the shops, and you are using that fertilizers in your own field. If you are not using fertilizers, and you will not get the 100% of profit from that your own agriculture. So if you want to get the profits, you have to use the fertilizers. But in northern plain we can understand that automatically where the no agriculture thing is there, from there are all the fertilities bring towards the Shivaliks, okay, and 8 to 16 kilometers width they are coming and flowing the water. This area completely fertile. This is called Bawar. And point number 2, because we understand that northern plains again we divide into 4 categories. First one is called Bawar, and second one we have to understand that about Tarai. Okay, this is called Tarai. So what do you mean by Tarai? All streams disappear in the Bawar belts. South of this belt, the stream as rivers re-emerge and create a wet swampy and marshy region. It is known as Tarai. Listen me carefully. And I already informed you that the Bawar, and maybe sometime or maybe the water flowing from the height of the mountain and higher ups and towards the bottom of the mountain, there are some areas. For example, you know that from the mountain is like that. You know that this is a mountain. For example, mountain, and rain falling is over here, and rain falling and water falling to, flowing towards from top to the bottom. And there are some areas. There are some areas water going to the deep. Okay, and while we are maybe in search of water, others the water flowing maybe the top of the soil of above the earth crust, we are able to see that may be getting inside of the maybe soil, and after maybe 1 or 2 kilometers after that, they are coming out and flowing towards the bottom. You understand what I am saying? Maybe from the top of the mountain, water flowing, and there are some areas, maybe there are swampy areas are there, swampy and marshy areas are there. From there, water is getting inside of the crust, and you know that maybe there are some areas, there are some meters or kilometers, we are unable to see the water outside of the crust. Okay, maybe through the inside they are flowing towards the bottom, and some other areas from marshy, swampy areas, they are coming out again, and coming out again and flowing towards the or maybe beyond the crust and flowing towards the water. This type of things also we are able to see in this northern plain. So it is mainly called the Terai. Okay, so all streams disappeared in the Babur Belt, and south of this belt, the streams are re-emerge and create a wet, swampy and marshy region. It is known as Terai. You know that this again maybe they are getting together, and here also swampy and maybe marshy areas are there. You know, this area is mainly called Terai. So like that, maybe just like a Babur, and the Shivalik maybe southern part. Shivaliks maybe get into the earth crust, and after maybe a few, maybe the kilometer or a few meter later, what is coming out as a swampy areas are there. So in northern plain, we are able to see that there are some swampy and marshy areas. Okay, swampy and marshy. Okay, this type of areas we are seeing, that's called Terai. Are you following what I am saying? Because Babur, you understand, and there are some time maybe the water flowing on the earth crust and going the deep inside of the deep in the soil, and there are some areas we are unable to see the maybe river again. Water is not flowing the earth crust, and you know that after 1 kilometer, half kilometer, maybe after a few meters, and again we are see the same the water coming out, and there are some swampy and marshy areas, and such kind of areas is called Terai. Okay, I hope that you understand about the Terai and also the Babur. So, point number 3 we are going to discuss about. That is called Bangar. Okay. What do you mean by Bangar? I'll explain. So here, Bagan mentioned that the largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium. It lies above the floodplain of the rivers and present a terrace like features in the part known as the Bangar and locally known as the Khangar. Listen now, Bangar means, you know, rivers, they carry the sediments, maybe the pebbles and the fertile things from the top of the mountain, height of the mountains, and falling towards the bottom of the mountain. And automatically they are carried by these sediments, just like the sediments and bubbles and fertility. This whole thing they are carried by from the top of the mountain towards the bottom of the mountain, and they are keeping, because if it is, you understand that maybe from the top of the mountain and flowing towards the down. If it is too high and going towards the bottom, and maybe the water speed maybe, for example, I am giving, if flowing maybe 50 km speed. For example, I am giving, if water flowing from the top of the mountain towards the bottom of the mountain, maybe because of the height of the mountain, automatically water has in a speed maybe 50 km. And while we are coming to understand that almost the plain areas will come, the water speed will be automatically decreased, because from the height we are going towards the down, the water, the rivers, maybe the speed, water speed may be very, very high. That means, example, I have given 50 km. Example, I have given. And you know that while we are coming to the plain area, for example, from the top of the mountain going towards the down, and maybe the plain area when water will come, automatically the 15 km decrease to 1 km speed, otherwise 2 km speed. And the 50 km speed, it can carried by pebbles, sediments, wet stones, everything. Even the wood, maybe the wood pieces, everything they can carry it by. But while they are coming to the plain areas, speed became decreased. Automatically, what will happen? Automatically, the river tried to store the sediments, pebbles, all the fertilities. These are the areas. You understand what I am? Are you following what I am saying? Because I inform you that from the height flowing towards the bottom, there may be, for example, 50 km speed, and coming in the plain areas, and speed became decreased, automatically decreased, and all the sediments, pebbles, whatever they carried by from the top of the mountain, they will store, deposit over here. This type of area is mainly called Banger. Okay, and that I explained Banger. And locally, maybe in locally different names are mentioned there. Locally they are saying that Kangar. Maybe local areas people are calling that's called Kangar. That completely fertile area, and if you are simply scattering the seed over there, the automatically they can grow. There's no more problem. We are not supposed to use the extra fertilizers over here. Automatically we are simply scattering seed that can grow very nicely. They can give maybe 100% of fruit from there. So grain from there. That's understand. So that's called mainly the Banger, and that's locally called what? Kangar. And now point number 4. We have to discuss about Khadar. Okay. Now we are the last of part from the northern plain can be divided into 4 categories. First one is okay the Banger. Second one is called Charai. Third one is called Banger, and fourth one is called Khadar. Okay. So let me explain about that. Maybe the youngest deposit of the floodplain are called Khadar. So simple way I have given the definition that the youngest floodplain, because you know that newly formed floodplains, that's called youngest. Okay, and there are some floodplains are there years and years ago that already formed, but there are some new because you know that if floodplain is here and with the same maybe the channel water cannot come because there will be a block, and floodplains are there, automatically they are turning away to another area, and they are making new ways to flow towards the ocean. So this area also they are making the floodplain. Okay, and maybe the another area also taking the floodplain. Okay, this type of new floodplains are called what? I mentioned Khadar. You understand what I am saying? So new floodplains formed by the words, that's called Khadar. So there are four different categories I explained. First one is called Bawur, second one is called Charai, third one is called Bagar, and fourth one is called Khadar. These are the 4 maybe categories we are able to see from the maybe the northern plain. Okay, so I hope that you understand about this particular point. And the first class we will discuss only the Himalayan mountains, and the second maybe the episode we discuss about the northern plain only. So there are so many informations are there. So I am unable to complete all the things together. Therefore, I have just want to wind up this maybe topic today right now. And we are going to discuss the rest of the part by the next class, by the next episode. Okay, and I hope that you all understand what are things I explained by today. And the next class you have to wait to get information about the rest of the part. And I hope that you will you understand. And also I encourage you that you go through the books again and again, read carefully again and again. Keep a lexicon, otherwise a dictionary with you, and go through the dictionary, find out the meaning, and write it down properly. And then you will get a clear picture about this lesson. Okay. And till the next class, I would like to say bye. And thank you very much. God bless you all.